Hi everybody, welcome back to Mama Shortcake's kitchen. Check out the Rudolph, the fluffy little Rudolphs. Ain't they so cute? So, due to some circumstances last night, I did not make a video, but I feel like this video is very, very, very important. So, come home from work, got rid of the kids. They're with friends for a little bit on their vacation, so now I gotta have some me and you time. So, about a year ago, it's over a year ago, we moved to Oklahoma. For those of you who don't know, we were living in Georgia, and what had happened was a group of us homeless people, mainly young men between the ages of 21 to about 27. I don't even know how many, was there like 8 of us total? I think there was like 8 of us total. We had a house together and we were trying to make things work like that, but I wasn't able to find a job and I didn't have any child support coming in, so I had to make a big change. The thing is, these guys were my brothers now. They're my best friend. I cooked for them. I felt like I was really meeting my purpose. What people don't realize is that for years before I ever met them, I had been dreaming about them. I had been dreaming about Albany. So my first chance to go, I went. Not to say that relationship I had at the time, it was special. I did love him, and he will forever have a piece of my heart. It was one of the craziest choices I've ever done, and it's one of the things I'll talk about later, but a little bit of backstory there. Anyway, these guys, were the father to my children. They were our protectors, and every day I was cooking and it seemed like there was always somebody new at the door or someone begging for me to make some food for them. I was able to take what I had learned as a child and really put it to use, and I was changing lives with my love. Most of these guys didn't have a good relationship with their mother, and this is how Mama Shortcake's kitchen started, was me mothering these guys, and then they would call, Mama Shortcake. So, or shortcake, or tease me because I'm short, so and it looked like cake. It was a very spiritual move, and I was out there for longer than 6 months, I think. It was it was one of the hardest times because we didn't have any money. We didn't have anything. We lost everything. So even then, I did not grieve like I did when I left these guys behind. And I had to, because even though I was meeting their needs, my girls come first in everything. And the choices I had made cost them their stuff. We could have been in the woods. We were headed to the woods when this group of guys said, "Oh, no, you're coming with us," and took us in. So, I can't even describe the love and the friendship, the bonds that we built. And the girls will tell you they would much rather go back to that than having all the stuff now and having mom work. They would much rather go back to how we were in Georgia. And that's really crazy because I've done everything I can to make sure that they're happy, but they would rather not have any money and be able to spend time together and build those relationships with people. So that's something to think about too. Anyway, we moved out here and I immediately began grieving. And it gave me a time. I wasn't busy anymore. I was looking for work, but I wasn't really busy. And so I had to face myself. with the choices that I had made. I had left a 3-year relationship, including a stepdaughter. I had lost everything, family heirlooms, my paintings, everything that had value to me because of the choice I made. And I put my girls through that was the biggest part, was I can't provide for my girls. I can't, I just can't do this stuff. Well, then I got this job at Walmart, and I was so happy to be making money, so happy to be able to do all the things that I had been wanting to do for my girls. And the first week I'm there, they get sick. And from going to school, and they had just gotten their shots. This is why I hate shots. I really, really hate shots, because it made them more sick than, anyway, that's a whole other debate. But I had to take off work right away, and I was freaking out. If I'm going to lose this job, then I've just failed again. I can't take care of my girls by myself. And for those of you who don't know, I had been talking to a gentleman who is now my husband. I've been talking to him for a little bit there. And from, I think it was like just before July, the end of June, to when we left in October. Maybe it was September we left. I can't remember. But anyway, so we've been talking for a little bit. And we had, my last night in Albany, we had decided that we really, cared a lot about each other. We wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. But he was not in the position to come with us, and we had to leave him behind. That was really hard, because even though we hadn't been living together, we spent every day together. We did everything together, and a relationship was really going somewhere. And I felt awful that we couldn't continue it at that point, but my girls came first, and he never made me feel guilty for that at all. He supported me 120%. The girls are first. Do this. This is what you need to do, so go do this. So I moved out here. So I left. I was also grieving that relationship. To the point I shut him out completely, and, made some regrettable choices, and just, I'm very thankful for how it's ended up. But I was grieving, and then I was worried about my job, because, with sick kids, Amber wasn't able to take care of them, and that was one of her things, is I'm not taking care of sick kids. Can't handle it. Can't handle the puke. Can't handle it. Which, trust me, no fault in that. And she was also going through losing her grandmother. Her health had declined at the same time. So this was a really hard time for both of us. And we were going through changes, We've been best friends for so long, but we'd never really lived together. And so we've always had that opportunity to have our space. And Amber, she wasn't used to having little kids all in her space all the time. So it was big changes. And I just fell into this deep depression and grieving, and what have I done, moving out here, and there's nobody to help me. Amber was doing all she could, and then I felt guilty because she was waking up at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to take me to work, because I didn't have a vehicle yet, and then having to make sure the girls get to school. I felt awful for that. Already she's opened her home to us. She was going through a divorce and all this, her grandmother, and then we're in here invading all her space, and I'm sure I didn't clean the way she wanted to clean and put things where they didn't belong, so that was nerve-wracking in itself, and I didn't want to do anything to upset her. So I had all this on me, and this is just my view of things. This is where my head went. I'm very, very grateful that things have turned out the way they have. But this is where my head went. I was freaking out. Oh God, I've once again done it. Everybody already thinks I'm a, screwball. So, I have a wandering free spirit. So, people probably think I'm a drugged out whatever. By the way, I've never done drugs in my entire life. So, just put that out. I was really struggling, and I had talked to my dad. Okay, Dad, I can't do this raising the kids by myself. I can't do this. I need you. And that's the hardest thing to say to my parents, is because, we were grown now, and the last thing I wanted to do was ask my parents for help one more freaking time. That's something hard, is to ask people for help. Gosh, I've really had some people come through, though, at points where I didn't know what else to do. So, a big thank you to those people. Just little side note, Lynn and Lacey and Amber being the biggest, and Sean opening up his home. And anyway, so I called Dad, and he had a friend that was going to come out Thanksgiving week, which is this week. Well, it would have been last year, but anyway, so it's roughly a year. And I had decided that I was going to make sure my girls are set up at my parents' house, and then I was going to disappear. The disappearing thing wasn't just disappearing from my girls' life so that they'd actually have a fighting chance. I knew this was going to be hard to talk about. But I was going to end my life, run away and end it, because all I was doing was causing more stress on my children and my parents and everybody around me. And I just couldn't get this life thing right. No matter how much I prayed, no matter how much I tried, I'm just one of those wild cards. It's always going to be harder for me. I'm always going to make the harder choice. So that's where my head was at. I was done. There was just no way up from here. I was about to lose my job, and I just could not get anything right. During this time, my faith never wavered in God. It really, people say that if you're saved, you can't commit suicide. But that's not the truth. It isn't. Let me explain how. During this time, I was crying out to God. I was reading my Bible. We were going to church. I was doing all the right things, but I still had that heaviness on me. I was still grieving. You're still going to feel those emotions. There's a reason for those emotions. There's a reason why God doesn't just wipe it out. Okay, these emotions help you